Rev up your engines! Okay, Ford Fusion Hybrid. They don't make them anymore. Were they good cars? Were they bad cars? Well, you're going to find out. This guy bought this one a month ago. We're going to go through the whole thing so you can see, should you buy one? Should you stay away from them? And why did they stop making them? Now, the Fusion is one of Ford's first hybrid cars that they make. The regular Fusion with a hybrid system in it. And you can see, they're nice looking sedans. Plenty of room in the back, comfortable. Now, the first year they sold 15,000 of these Fusion hybrids, and the last year they sold 54,000. The whole run was 250,000. So they sold a reasonable amount of them, never an outrageous amount, but for hybrids, that's quite a bit. So many people are worried about buying a hybrid. Now, this thing was a cream puff, one owner, so it's only got 65,000 miles on it. And realize, under the hood, a lot of Toyota technology in the hybrids. And even though this thing is made in Mexico, you can see here where it says AC Mexico. Well, how you really can tell, get your VIN here, and you can see the first number is 3. That means it was made in Mexico. The kind of sneaky look, manufactured by Ford Motor Company, says nothing about Mexico in there, but this was made in Mexico. So you might think the bell is tolling for this vehicle, but the engine, the electronics, it isn't made in Mexico. These things are basically assembled in Mexico. It wasn't like they were building the engines and the complex electronics there. They were just assembling the vehicles there. And it's a regular hybrid. It's not a plug-in hybrid. This is all boost, so you get more power and better gas mileage. He said he's now averaging about 35 miles a gallon. And for a 4-door sedan, hey, that's good gas mileage, you know? It's a relatively heavy vehicle for its size, and it rides nice. The Prius, of course, gets better gas mileage because it's smaller, it's very low to the ground, and if you've ever driven a Prius, they ride like crap. This thing rides like an actual car. It's an actual car that was turned into a hybrid. It wasn't just a hybrid where they want to squeeze. I've seen Priuses, 35, those things will be getting 49, 50 something miles a gallon with almost the same type of system driving them, but lightweight, made to be aerodynamic, and like I say, they both ride like crap and they're noisy. We'll see how this thing rides when we take it for a spin. Now, he also didn't like the headlights. He said they're not bright enough. You can easily put different headlights in. You can put LEDs that are brighter if you really want to. That's the problem when they go more for style than anything else. They want it to look squinty like a shark's eye, so it's smaller. I like them when the bulbs are bigger myself, too. But aside from that, he's happy. I asked him, do you like the ride? He loves the ride. Because, like I said, the Prius is going to get better gas mileage, but it's like you're riding on a washing machine. Everything's stiff. They're really low to the ground, and of course, being low to the ground, I've had a lot of people with Priuses scrape the bottom parts of the cars off going over speed bumps because they're so low. It isn't a rock crawler, but you can see it's got a reasonable amount of clearance under it. Pretty much the same as my wife's Matrix, and we never hit anything with it. Let's go inside, check the interior. You can see it's been well taken care of. They look good, they're comfy, and they don't freeze your butt off in the winter like leather or melt your skin off in the hot summer. Now we'll start her up. Of course, it might not do anything because it's a hybrid. It's on, even though it's not making any noise. It knows the hood's ajar because we got it open. And it's got a decent screen here. It's got sync in it. And all your controls are easy to get to. And of course, and you got a lot of controls on the steering wheel too. Favorites, it doesn't have a sunroof. Something not to leak. I don't like sunroofs. It's got a very good stereo system in it too. As you can see, it's only got 64,755 miles. You can put it in eco mode to get the best gas mileage. Now, it does have an electric parking brake, which I'm not a fan of, but they're all going that way. We're going to scan it, but before I do, a lot of people are always wondering about hybrids. Well, how long is it going to last? I've had customers with these, and they generally didn't start to fall apart till they got maybe 170,000 miles or more on them. Realize, there's a lot of Toyota technology in these things. They can often go much further than that too. It's not like Ford started from square one and, well, they're going to have to get the bugs out of the system. Hey, that's why they're using this system. They're using a system that's already been tried and proven with Toyota, and so they got a lot of the same stuff in them. Why should they reinvent the wheel? Hybrids are kind of an in-between car. More than just part gasoline and part electric motor. They're also kind of an in-between of people are kind of stuck in between. Do I want just a gasoline car that's simpler, or do I want an electric car that's 100% electric? Well, this is kind of halfway in between. Now, this is just a hybrid car. They did make a few Fusions that were the plug-in hybrids. And I had a customer in Houston had one, and he hardly ever used a gasoline motor because he said he could go about 45 miles on the battery. And he only lived 15 miles from work. So he just charged it up, go back and forth, and he really liked the car. Now, to me, a lot of that stuff makes more sense, but somehow the government never got behind that. They gave the tax credits to fully electric cars. People don't know what to do. To me, it's a good idea if you get a good system. You don't want to go buy one of these that's got 170,000 miles on it, because then you're probably going to get some really expensive repair bills. But this only has 65,000 miles, so let's see if I'm going to eat my own words when we put the scan tool on. Now, you know these vehicles are ultra complex. Hey, they still got a data port just like a normal car, but you can access a lot of information with. We'll do the auto VIN, knows what the vehicle is. They have Fusion, full hybrid electric, 2-liter Atkinson cycle engine, diagnosis, full scan. And while scanning, we'll just look around some more. Nice clean lines. Like I say, a lot of room in the back. They're nice little sedans. Let's have the electrically controlled transmission, and of course, it's a CVT transmission, so it's not going to shift any gear. The hybrid engine and the gasoline engine, the electric motor and the gasoline engine, have to have a transmission that can take 2 different inputs. The Toyota system of CVTs for hybrids is the best in the world. There's no arguing that. Rarely do you see problems with them. See, there's all kinds of things that it's scanning that are good, and it's only found one little problem, which is the instrument panel control module. So we'll check that out, see what the code is. And the code is, here it comes. Must be slow because it's cold today. Lost communications with radio. Well, the radio works, we don't care. I'm amazed. I mean, as complex as this car is, all it's got is this one code. If this had been a Mercedes, BMW, there probably would have been 37 different codes. But it's a communication code. Doesn't mean hardly anything. We'll erase it. And like I always say, you get these lost communication codes. Something as simple as a somewhat weak battery, loose connection, anything could do it. I had one the other day, if you watched, where the guy forgot and he left his headlights on. Didn't warn you when the headlights were on, so it didn't go ding, 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 and it drained it to nothing. Well, guess what? After that, he had all these different codes because there wasn't enough electricity to confuse the computer. So, don't care about that. We'll go back to live data. Oh, we'll hook up the live data and we'll start looking through the data, see if anything is odd. Like I said, these hybrids are complex. You can get the cylinder head temperature, camshaft angles, electronic throttle control information, and it's all normal on this. Now we'll take it for a little road test, see how it rides, see how it goes, but as it stands now, this thing's in immaculate shape. And you can see it's got a really nice backup camera. Got various angle views too. And as you can hear or not hear, it's on the fully electric mode now. It's not making any noise at all. Talk about a smooth idle. We'll go over the bump. Not going to go too fast. It's not a really high car. It's not really low. But like I say, this isn't like a Toyota Prius. This thing actually rides like a nice sedan. The bumps aren't that bad. These are horrible bumps here, and I'm having a pretty comfortable ride in it, to tell you the truth. Electronic power steering. It has no glitches. It's very smooth steering. Now it has a 2-liter Atkinson cycle engine, and it's got the boost from the hybrid battery. So we'll see how it takes off. Here we go. Hey, it started to squeal those tires out. Nice acceleration. That's where the hybrid system comes in. It gives them an extra boost. So it's a pretty zippy little car. Rides nice, and it's pretty quiet inside. Brakes work fine. You can hear the electric motor humming as we decelerate. The crow eating a squirrel. See, it didn't even bother the crow. It didn't move away till he got close because it's so quiet. Of course, it has regenerating brakes. To get better gas mileage, you'll hear it when I step on the brakes. Regenerating power, and that system's still working perfectly fine. And like I said, you got to take off. It spun the tires again till the traction control hit it, and this guy pulled in front of us with this truck. It's got a lot of zip to it. Down here, when it's only on EV, you can see it's on EV now. It says EV. It's only working on EV. If you really baby it, you can run on EV a little bit here and there. Like I say, it's not a plug-in. You don't plug it in and charge it. Run it like an electric car. It's just a boost system, and you can drive it a little bit on electricity alone. So there you have it, a Ford Fusion hybrid. They sold them for a certain amount of years, a little over 10 years, and they did sell 250,000 of them total. They don't make them anymore because Ford got out of the sedan business. I think it's a mistake, but then again, look who they were competing against. Toyota Camrys and Honda Accords, which of course blew them away. When they were selling 50,000 of these, they're selling 500,000 Camrys a year. So, you know, they just pretty much gave up the ghost. It's not a bad car. This is actually a quite nice car. Only 65,000 miles, low mileage, hybrid. Hey, everything on it still works fine. It's got a lot of Toyota technology in it. And hey, a smooth riding, nice quiet car that gets 35, 36 miles a gallon driving all over the place. And even though it was made in Mexico, I don't know, maybe they weren't taking a siesta that day because this thing is put together really well. No rattles, rides, doesn't have any kind of problems. But do realize, like I said earlier, the engines, the transmissions, they're not manufactured in Mexico. And especially not the electronic hybrid system. So they're just assembling them in Mexico. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.